Hey people, it's me again. Today I want to talk about males, big, burly, ape-like creatures that spawn over the face of this planet. Nonetheless, these males, these creatures, they generally gather and order themselves into a hierarchy. And people have made lists of these little hierarchies. We got the betas, we got the alphas, we got omega men, and the elusive sigma male. But these concepts I found usually they're somewhat nebulous. You know what I mean? Like what is an alpha really? What makes a guy an alpha male, or what makes a guy exactly beta? Like, is there, like, I don't know, is alpha male here, and then like are all these guys beta, and but then there's hierarchy in between them. So you've got to like, can you call them all beta, or is there something that differentiates one beta from another? Because in one group, one person can have a dominating personality, and then if you put him in another social group, his personality may pacify. Is it just to do with personality? Is it to do with aesthetic, or is it to do with capacity? A lot of this isn't really clear on how actions or brainwaves or whatever make a man what he is, or gives him his place in his hierarchy. So I've come with a little esoteric flair to it. Because you can take those men, and really what they represent is an esoteric view on the types of men, or specifically the planetary types of men. So this concept is a little bit weird, but let's go with it. Just follow me along. Follow me along. So we have the planets, right? We got these big juicy planets here. What's going to be the alpha male? Obviously, the sun is going to be the alpha male, the center of the room, the center of attention, the center of the solar system will be the sun, the alpha male. So then, what would you class as beta male then? Beta male would then obviously be the moon. The moon can never be the sun. The moon always reflects the sun's light. So in that essence, you then gain two attributes that you can really show what is truly alpha. Someone who's really alpha is someone who's completely original. Whatever field they're in, their way of thinking stands out. They're completely different from other people. Whereas people who are of the moon, who are lunar males, not solar males, not part of the solar humanity, the lunar humanity, lunar people copy. There's that phrase, it is not a mark of intelligence to, what do you call it, elaborate the thoughts of another person. That's what we do in our education system. We tell people to read Plato and read this guy and read this guy and this guy, and what do you think about that? Like, no one has their own thoughts on things. It's just, a reaction to Foucault, who's a reaction to Nietzsche, who's reacting to Plato, or Schopenhauer, who's reacting to friggin', I don't know, Kierkegaard. I don't know the history of philosophy. Anyway, but that's the thing you find. That's the thing you find. No one has their own ideas. Like, people have stopped really inventing things, and really they just innovate things that already exist. Nothing new per se has come into the market. No new movies are made, just remakes. To remake something is something lunar. That is a lunar quality. I mean, it can be a very good replica. There's nothing wrong with lunar stuff. There's nothing wrong with being beta. But what we're looking for is the true alpha. And the true alpha is actually something that's very, very, very elusive. Because when people think of alpha males in the world nowadays, they're actually thinking of sigma males. So if you look at there's Sol, and then there's Luna is the moon. But the other symbols we have here are the other planets. The one I want to draw your attention to is the one for Saturn. The one that kind of looks like a funky letter H that's just flopping his ding dong out. It's like a cross with a really big donkey. Kind of flopped, just like it's an elephant trunk. Sorry, let's not be crude. Let's not be crude. So Saturn, a Saturnian man, is the archetype of the Sigma male. Because what's the archetype of the Sigma male? It's the lone wolf who goes and does it on his own, who's not a part of the hierarchy. Well, that's you have to always be a part of the hierarchy. You just dominate it in two different ways. The Sigma male is someone who's basically dominated a hierarchy. They've mastered it. They've mastered their domain via mastery of the laws that govern that domain. And they may even break laws here and there. But that Saturnian characteristic, it's cold, it's dry, it's dark. Whereas the sun is the opposite of Saturn. The sun is always giving, it's light, it's original, it gives life. Out of it comes all these new things and new elaborations, whereas Saturn, nothing new comes from Saturn. Saturn is only about decay and death. And so Saturnian people love laws. They love making new laws. So what you see in this world is there are no alpha males, really. That's how rare the alpha male is. In this world, there is no alpha males. This world is run by sigma males, by Saturnian people. Saturnian leaders, whether male or female. A female Saturnian leader is like one of those politicians who, like Margaret Thatcher, just iron woman, just staunch. She never had any kids, or did she? She never had any kids. They're usually barren. Is a Saturnian characteristic, like a guy who doesn't have kids. He just, I'm just a lone wolf, man. I'm just going to get to the top. I'm just going to be the Wolf of Wall Street, bro. Like, that's someone who's a sigma male. That's someone who's sigma, who's Saturnian. They're just trying to dominate. Whereas a solar man can completely eradicate a hierarchy or completely do something new. The true solar individual is revolutionary. Whereas the sigma male, or I don't know, the Saturnian male, can actually only dominate something within a hierarchy. They go out of the hierarchy. They may be able to break the rules, or they want to break the rules. They want to be the outsider, but fundamentally they can dominate this hierarchy by doing that. Whereas the sun is something that permeates the entire hierarchy. So it's this different kind of, I don't know if you're going to agree with what I'm saying. But this is just an interesting perspective to look at it. So when you look at these planetary aspects, then what are the other planets? What's Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter? These are the other types of men. So when I said the true solar individual, the true alpha, is actually very rare. The true beta is also very rare, because usually people have something that comes out of them. They have something that they vibrate towards, whether it be the mind, the emotions, or the body, or some other kind of skill. So Mercury, one of the gods of thought, or sometimes a god of writing, and then therefore a god of science, that's someone who you could say excels at some kind of intellectual field. That's someone who's a mercurial man. Being a mercurial man isn't beta. You're doing something deliberate. It may be maybe a reflection of another person's thinking and you're just building on top of it, but fundamentally you are a use for society. The same with the Venusian man. The Venusian man is the true artist, the true singer, the true lover, the painter who does magnificent works like Michelangelo's David, or the top of the Sistine Chapel or whatever, or a perfect architect. Maybe architect is like half Mercurial, half Venus. You need that art, but you also need the proper mathematical understanding of like ratios and whatnot. But you get what I mean. There's this Mercurial and Venusian man. Maybe the Venusian man's more sensitive, but at the same time, it's that creates aesthetic art that he gives to the world. The genius Mercurial inventor will give inventions to the world, or will further science. The Martian man. It's interesting. Martian man is then the bro. The Martian man is the guy who dedicates his life to the body, to the path of the warrior. When we think of alphas, we think of just, douchebag bros who have big muscles. That's really a Martian man. That's the person who's vibrates with the personality of Mars, of war. We need those people. We need those people to fight, to defend. They're a part of the system as well. So you have these planetary concepts. And also Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of rulers. So you could say, maybe not kings, but the true viceroys and the true rulers and the true kind of lawgivers kind of descend from that rank. A true Jupiterian man is a very good organizer. Maybe you find them in a lot of companies or a lot of leadership positions. But even that, they're not the true alpha. They may be a true, a manager of something. Jupiter is the biggest planet, so maybe these are the people with like maybe more bigger ego or somewhat, but the alpha, the true solar individual, is actually something very, very rare. And also the lunar's not very, very rare, but a true lunar person actually just has no skills. They're not a good leader, like the Jupiterian people. They haven't dedicated themselves to a life of science or art, so they're not Mercury, Venus, and they're usually weedy and weak, so they don't vibrate with Mars. They're very, they're very reflective. They don't have their own opinions. They always want people to validate them. They want things given to them. They just reflects the world outside of them. That person, maybe depending on where you live, you see them a lot. But that person is the true beta. All people who you could say are incels, or who are angry at the world for doing them wrong, that person is a beta. That's beta. That's lunar behavior. The true solar behavior we've lost. We actually don't have any real alphas anymore. People who think they're alpha, they're either Martian or they're Saturnian. Other people just don't care about the hierarchy. They're just off making art or doing science or something. And that's something interesting to reflect on, because then what is true originality? Can we move towards this? Can we do something truly new? Where is that which is, truly original? Really, that which is truly original erupts from deep inside of us, deep within our subconscious, at the core of our self. Like the soul, the symbol for the sun is soul. It's this circle with a dot in the middle. That's what we need to do to become solar. Most people live on the outside of the circle, but we need to go inwards to find that dot, to find the core of ourselves. And inside the core of ourselves is a book, is our true, what would you call our true gospel or whatever. That's our true teaching, our true lesson, the truth that has been embedded in us since before we were born, that can come out and we can give to the world something truly new. And that is what makes us solar. That is what makes us alpha, really. That is the true alpha. Anyway, that's just my idea. It's just my idea. Don't go hating immediately. Just contemplate that a little bit. Contemplate the planetary phases, and where you can think about where you fit. But really, it's not about where you fit. It's about how to transcend that. That's what we want to aim at. Anyway, this is just an interesting idea. Just tell me what you think.